Alright, I figured I'd take this, I've been looking for a format, honestly. I've been scouring on here, looking for an easy format to kind of not get more practice with programming in Blender, so I'm going to be doing that. These guys are all fronting these applications that they've made, the text to object and model researcher thing. I've never used them, so I can't really give an opinion on them. I for most of my time doing this stuff, I've just been using Max, 3ds Max, and using MaxScript. And it's really biased, but I love MaxScript, and I would still say it's really easy to program. Having tried some other things like Python and Blender, I don't really have a great opinion about Python or Blender. I think it's a lot complicated, and so I can kind of understand why these applications exist to kind of simplify the process, I suppose. Um, but yeah, anyways, we're gonna try and use Blender. It's a free application, same as these things, okay? But I'm not gonna try and compare them. They probably work for their intended use. But yeah, we're gonna try going at Blender so I can get some practice with my library or my module that I've written. I don't know. We'll see. So it'll probably be a rocky road, but we'll see how that goes. Oh, it's auto downloading or something here. What's going on? All right. I downloaded the files. Nobody posted specs on the format. That's really important, but I think somewhere in here people have kind of been like, this, that, and this the other thing. So we can probably ascertain the format from there, or just figure it out on our own, okay? So the important thing about figuring out the formats is just having a file and then having another file. Typically you want to have a contrast, so it makes it easier to compare things. Typically a big file versus a small file. So it looks like we have this leg, and we have a foot, okay? This one's a lot smaller, and this one's slightly larger, okay? And those are going to be our two different contrasts. Now there was another file included. This was explained as a different version or something, and I don't know. It says secure at the top, and it looks like it's encrypted or compressed. I think they're aware of that. Um, I don't know anything about encryption or compression, so I can't tell you. But yeah, I can't do nothing with it. So that sucks. But anyway, we look at these ones and kind of reverse back from there. Okay. Now I'm using hex to object, or hex to object. What am I saying? WinHex. I saw hex and I said hex to object. Holy shit. WinHex. This is super old. I used this when I was a kid, and I just kept using it. Um, there's another one called Hex XD. I don't have it in here. I don't know if I have it pinned on my thing. Whatever. It's free, but it just misses one feature that I use. If it had that one feature, I would switch in a heartbeat. It's the ability to highlight and set a bookmark, like just like this. That's all I would need. It's just a simple bookmark system, um, which they don't have. Okay. Now hex editors get pretty deep in what they can do. I don't really even use that many advanced features. Like literally, all I need is just to be able to highlight a block. Okay. But yeah, there's other hex editors out there. A lot of them are paid. So if you're going to be doing this as a hobby, then it would be worth your time to get a good one. Um, Now I hear that Hex Workshop is among one of the better ones, but I've only ever just used this, so I'm pretty basic. As long as I can highlight stuff, then I'm good. And it just helps me kind of section out what I've been looking at, right? So that's all it does. Okay, so here we can. A lot of this is just going to be based off experience, but this is obviously the file ID. Alright, so just tag it. This we don't know. We're going to compare with this one. Okay, so you have two constants. That means they don't change. That's why I was looking for two files, because they provide contrast. Contrast meaning differences that we can check. So what we're looking for is differences. We're not really caring about the constants. So this doesn't really do anything. Doesn't really do anything. So now we're down to here, and now these are changing, right? So this is possibly something. So it looks like it stretches across here and probably ends. So we kind of have to figure out what this is. So I would refer to the data interpreter to kind of figure out what that crap is that's changing, because that's going to be important. So we have all these different types of data types. Just looking at it, it's really kind of scrambled and packed, so it's probably like a float type. Um, Obviously, it's not big endian because we can tell, because this is an integer here. It says OE, and it's padded by a bunch of zeros. So the leading zeros are on the right. So we know that that is a little endian. So I take it back. Big endian, you're typically going to see on PlayStation 3, that kind of stuff, Xbox, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so this is PC obviously or something. And it's a little endian. So try that again. So click over here, and I get a float value that's not crazy. So a crazy float value would be this one, for example. It says to the exponent 17. So that'd be 17 zeros. So it's zero basically. It's like an impossibly small number. So that doesn't make any sense, right? So when we click over here, we get something which is like zero, a point 0.001, something like that. It's still very small, but it's reasonable. Okay, so that's okay. So this is fine, fine, fine. So we have 4 floats. Who knows what those are for? But there's some sort of float. I said 3 floats. Whatever, 4 floats. Okay, okay. Mark that. Now just go back. Okay. And might as well just check this one while we're here. Looks like this is static again. So okay, so this is kind of important. So we see these tags. So this is what's this supposed to say? Oh, ERF. This is MLR. Okay, so this is the 4-character code identifier, which is somewhat standard, which is great because it tells us the file type. But it looks like this might be a kind of a block format. So they define blocks, what's inside. So if we see another tag, then pretty much that's what it is. So looks like we can just search for the hashtag. That makes it look super, super easy. I'll just search going down. No. Nope. 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 Yeah, this is getting tedious. Okay, so that wasn't there. We'll check this one. This is the bigger one, right? Okay, yeah, that's not. Okay. Yeah, so that's probably not the case. So in some case they'll divide the information into little blocks. So like your model block and then your material block and whatever block. And they'll be sectioned like this. But this just seems to be kind of a fluke. So I don't know what's up with that. So just for whatever reason, obviously it tags again. So whatever. So, but I think I saw something change. No, I'm just mind's wandering. Okay. So now we're here. Okay. And so obviously there's some stuff here that's important that we need to understand. And then over here it looks like we have a buffer, right? So the way I can tell that is because we have these obvious numbers. So we see this white space, a bunch of zeros that kind of sit in between these numbers. So they're probably integers. So this one is 75. This one's a bigger number. So that's 4 bytes. And another big number brings us here. And then we have like this little pad here. And then we have these numbers that are packed. And if I check it, then let's see here. That doesn't make sense. So maybe I have to start here. Yeah, I probably have to start here. Yeah, and then that all makes sense. So this is where the buffer starts. Okay, and I'll tag it. Start of buffer. Alright, so we tag it. And now we just have to kind of figure out the stuff in between here. So I'm pretty positive that this information probably pertains to the buffer. So I'm just going to measure the buffer somehow. So what we need to do is find a reoccurring part of the buffer that keeps reoccurring. I just always do this, which is kind of a cheat, I guess. is I use one of the features of the hex editor, which is that I can expand the columns, and I just expand the column until I see everything line up in patterns. So I'm kind of like I'm watching an animation play out, and I'll see a pattern line up. So I can see that it just lined up there. So that tells me that this is probably 3 float values. So it's 12, right? So I don't know if I can get this to kind of line up, but you can see in this situation, it's hard to see, but you can see a pattern on the text side. You can kind of see it's like, you know, there's a pattern there. I don't know how to describe it, but you can see there's kind of a flow to everything. So it's kind of hard to describe how you would identify it, but yeah. Another way I guess I could describe it is basically you can see this value here, right? Um, the CB4, like where does it reoccur again? Well, it recurs on this next line. So if we put it back to the standard 16, right? I look for like one of these, and then look for the next reoccurrence of that, which is like down here. So that means that it's 12 bytes and then another 12 bytes or something. Right. So that's sometimes a little bit confusing to find, but anyway, this is just a guess. It's just a preliminary guess. So right now I assume that it's that. So I'm going to probably just chuck it back in here, and I'm gonna just oh wait, this isn't right, is it? Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab from here and drag down until I see something weird happen. So I think I see something weird happening there. Let me check. So I need to end just before here. Yes, something weird happened here or happened earlier up, which is like here. So let's try that again. Okay, so this is again kind of from experience. So what I'm noticing is there's a pattern break. So this is such a stupid thing to say, a pattern break. But anyway, as we're following along this buffer, there's a set of zeros here, which is suspicious. So your typical geometry is going to need a bunch of data to describe the 3D object, including physical vertex positions, which describe the shape. You have the texture coordinates and the vertex normals, and then you have the face indices, which connects everything together. So probably in this buffer, we will come across those other components. So this might be the vertex component. So at this point, I've just highlighted everything, and that's because when I highlight it, it tells me at the bottom on the info bar my selections. So right now it's saying that my current selection is taking up this much. So if I click on this side, converts this into decimal, so I can take my calculator. The calculator also does hexadecimal, so I can always do the math in hex if I wanted to, but I'm more comfortable with decimal. And then I just divide it by 12, which is the entry size, the first definition of the first vertex. So that would come out to be 58. So in hexadecimal, we're talking about 3A. So we just look at our thing up here, and we're looking for the number 3A. And well, once you know it, there's the number 3A. So let's type that in. So that's the probably the vertex count. Probably. Okay. Probably. So I'll mark it. There's other stuff in here as well. This might pertain to the size of the buffer. So let me see. So this is times 12. That would have been 2B. No. So this might be a size. So I will. That doesn't make any sense because this is where this is. So it would probably be here. And I'm not sure why there's a 1 here. Yeah, there's a 1 there. That is suspicious. Okay. Well. What did I say it was again? This. So I'm gonna change this marker to cover that area. I gotta switch everything back in the hexadecimal. Okay. All this is really specific to this hex editor, but I really like the highlighting stuff in here. Alright, so most likely there's a pattern that we've kind of identified and can probably reapply in this situation. So probably 3A is the next count. So this is probably the normals, I would assume. Normal count. And we'll just mark it. And obviously the pattern doesn't hold up anymore. Well, at least I don't think so. So we'll bring this down. Okay, and then we'll just, I don't know where I am right now. And we'll just keep expanding it. So I can see an obvious pattern right now from here possibly to here. So that's what? Oh, that's just typical 16. We'll keep expanding it. Okay, this looks like it lines up. So this actually might be texture coordinates. Probably. Maybe not normals. So we have here, so this is going to be a float value from here to here. Actually, ooh, oh yeah, that's right. That's okay. Yeah, because it started over here. I don't know what I was looking at, but yeah. So this is probably texture coordinates, and not normals. So that's interesting. Usually it's normals, texture coordinates. Okay, and so this is probably our texture coordinates. So we'll just set this. Okay, and then I forgot to set the size of that. Ah. Alright, so that's gonna be, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Cool. Okay, so I'm in hex. And what, I gotta pad this? What's going on? It keeps complaining. Alright, there we go. And we just follow this down, and okay, so there's obviously a problem here. So, so that the size that I guessed it was, or no, shit, I'm an idiot. So, 3a times, dang it, times 8 is that. Okay, that's my bad. So just change that. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense. So now we have another number here. So this is a significantly larger number. And it looks like there's some stuff here that I don't understand. And then it leads into what looks like the faces. So I think it's the faces. It starts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And where does it go? It goes to about here, which is interesting. This count is 102. Yeah, that's what this is then. So it's right here. 102. So this is faces. Okay. I'm just kind of working kind of backwards here. Because I don't understand what's in here. So, okay, let's try to figure this out then. So, I have quite a large number. And then I have some gibberish. Oh, I got no idea. So we can check the other files. For now, this is a big fat unknown, which is problematic. So if we can't get past this area, then we have a problem. That means we can't reach the other stuff. So I would compare it with the other data to kind of understand this, but I would have assumed this count would have kind of followed suit with the rest of the data, but I don't know. Maybe this is the material count. It's possible. So this is, it's coming out to 40. So we have a small number, it divides into 40. No, I have to be in here somewhere. This one's 10. So that could be it, maybe. No, that's not it. This starts over here, then it goes over here. I don't know. No idea. I'll have to skip it for now. We'll come back and we'll see if we can solve it. Now we have this one. This is 22. And then obviously there's a pattern here, but it's not lining up. So I'm just gonna do this. Okay, kind of lined up, so let's just go with it. So 22 in hex is 34, so we'll just do some calculating here. So this currently is 16? No, it is 16. Yeah, okay. So 16 times 34, and we're just gonna skip down. Ugh. Okay, that did not make sense. Okay, let's just look for the next break in the buffer. Wow, there's a lot of data here. Okay, so this looks like it breaks. Well, maybe not. Let me go back up. It looks like it breaks here. Yeah, I think. Let's see here. That's a float value. That's a float value. Yeah, that might be it. Okay, so we can measure this. See if this is divisible. So 548 divided by what was it, 34? Oh shit, I fucked that up. 548 divided by 34 is not divisible. No. Okay, so it seems like, okay, this isn't, okay, what was the hex I had it in? Oh shit, okay, now I got all messed up. I said it was 16 times 34, so in hex that's this. Oh shit, okay, so I was right the first time, but I had it in decimal or something. Whatever. Okay, so this does land us here, so I'm gonna mark it here. So I don't know what this data is. We'll just call it the normal data for now, because I don't really know. For now, okay. This I don't know. We'll just call it vertex color count for now, because I don't know what that is. Okay. And so the count would be 0, so we don't get a buffer there. And then our next buffer is here. Some other count. And we'll figure out the size of that. Okay, I kind of seen that already, but we'll just pull that back out. So this is what? 12, right? So this is 12, and yeah. Okay, so this is, I think I already worked out what that is. I think it's like 2 BB or something like that. Yeah. Okay, so what is this? Okay, so it's going to be 58 times 12. So it's going to be 2B8. That's right. So let's mark it here. Actually, I can just mark it here. All right. So that's I'm running out of what ideas to call these things. We'll call it P3 data. That's the length. Okay. Wow. How much data is in this file? Is this like a small file? Oh my god. It's still going. Alright, Jesus Christ. It's not over yet. Okay, this actually might be a secondary mesh. So, I'm just gonna copy this, and I'm gonna go at the top. Well, let's just compare it here and see if we can, well, let's go up here. I'll just paste it, actually, yeah. So, nope. Really seeing anything lining up. Maybe I have to, like, move down a little bit. I swear this looks the same. Wait, hold up. Let me just open up the same file. So this is, yeah, blah, 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 and then we'll just go down here. Alright, I'll just compare it. So, this 4B looks super familiar, and then I have this 1, which is what I seen here. Yeah, I knew I seen this before. It's right here. Okay, so we'll trace it back. So this is 12 from before that 4b. So here's a 4b, and then we'll go back 12. Okay, so that means that this is a sub-object. So this is the start of the sub-object. So over here, so we're going to mark this, I guess. This is the, it's a part of the header. Alright, we'll figure out later what to do with that, but alright, so we have some sub-objects in here that we have to identify. It seems like we can identify them with this. It's kind of a cop-out, but that's okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a count. And we'll see if I can count these. So 6 times. Surprise! Okay, so this is obviously the count for that up here. So we can mark this. This is the mesh count. Okay, and then I lost my spot. So from 4B12 back, we'll mark this. What is this? This is, I have no idea what this is. It's part of the subheader. We just don't know what it is. Okay, and this is where we start reading all our stuff. So this doesn't look like a float point. This value could be anything. So we have a count here. This could be a size or something. So let's check it out. So let's skip down. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Alright, so that was relative. How did I just find that? Okay. Yeah, so it's relative. Okay. So this is yeah, so okay, after okay, what's called this? Block size relative what am I doing? Rel. Oh my god, I cannot spell today. Holy crap. Wow. After this, whatever. I don't know. Okay. So this, I think, I don't know. It seems to be some sort of thing that doesn't change, so you don't need to worry about it. And then this thing, I have no idea what it does, so we don't need to worry about it. So it looks like that's it. So we got the format. That's the structure. We're done. Yippity ki yay, motherfucker. Alright, so so this is important that we break up the process into 2 distinct parts. So the first part was figuring out the hex file. How is the structure formatted? And that's what you need to do. And then you make a program. Then you import it in. Okay. So you might actually combine visualization at this point, like using hex to object or whatever, the advanced model researcher or something, to kind of sniff out what this is. Because right now I've just made guesses. Okay. Because what I'm going to do next, I'm not even going to visualize it. But the reason why I'm not going to visualize it is because I've done this so many times. Just importing models from formats like this. So it's not exciting anymore. I used to be like, oh, I can't wait to see what this is, and I would import it in. While I'm, before I even figure anything out, I would open up the hex file and I would go right to the vertex buffer, bring it into 3ds Max, visualize it because I was just so excited to see what it was. But now, once I've done it so many times, it just becomes a process. So you don't really take shortcuts. You just go through the ABCs, and you just do it properly. So right now I've just documented the format. The format is, this is basically the format here. It tells me the format basically, so I would need to sort this. And now I just translate that into code. So I'm going to cut the video here, and I'm going to do the programming, I guess, in the second segment. and we'll import the model. So this is just a format right now. Okay.